The first time we met, she propositioned me. She seemed so sure.
I was sure. He was so shy and mysterious. Is there something you'd like to tell me?
Is there something you'd like to know?
I'm your wife. I know everything. Could you help me with something?
You will not tell anyone about this.
Hello there. We're gonna call you Lily.
Okay, so I guess my first question for you is, after seeing the film the other night, I was struck by the level of courage that was portrayed on screen. So my question for you is, in your own life, what is a memorable moment of courage that you've had to do?
Oh, gosh. Do you know what? I'm not a very courageous person. I don't know if I've had... I suppose the moment that I feel, and it's nothing compared to nothing. I can't even believe I'm having this conversation in relation to what Lily went through. But the only times, or the times that I feel courage is when it's an opening night of a play, and there are there are sort of 1,000 people in an audience, and you've spent months prepping, and you know that there are a load of critics with their sort of little books outside, and you're going, okay, deep breath. In an hour and a half, this will be over, and on you go. That's the moment. That's, I suppose, the only moment in my life that I ever feel sort of that courage has to be pulled upon.
That's that's
not quite Lily and Gerda's courage.
A little different.
Yeah.
Talk to me about kind of the level of awareness, obviously, that this film has brought to the trans community, what Caitlyn Jenner has gone through, and also, Jeffrey Tambor's portrayal on Transparent.
Well, I think one of the interesting things for me about this film was that Lily and Gerda's story happened almost 100 years ago, and the things that she was having to undertake, Lily was having to undertake or deal with, of discrimination, of violence, one would think in 100 years that there would be progress, and I feel like it's only in the past few years that's really happening, and that is a huge amount to do with visibility and with extraordinary people like Laverne Cox and Caitlyn Jenner and of course what Transparent is doing, and I just hope in some ways if this film can in any way just continue that conversation, then that would be a wonderful thing.
What's the most surprising thing you learned through this journey from the trans community? Because obviously you've talked to a lot of trans people. What's something that you were like, wow, I couldn't even fathom that?
Do you know what? I was pretty ignorant, and the whole experience has been, and it's been 3 or 4 years that I've been sort of attached to the film and learning. But some of the most simple things were perhaps the most. I couldn't believe that I didn't know. Like the idea that gender and sexuality were not related necessarily was. It just never occurred to me to question that. But of course. The other thing was that actually what the word trans means, like the idea, one assumes that if one is transgender that you have undergone some form of physical transition, but that's not the case. Being trans is what you are in your mind, in your soul, and so you can. It's nothing to do with what you look like or whether you've actually physically transitioned in any way.
Obviously, the film you're making now, a little different than this. What can you tell me about being in that universe? Especially, we're here in England.
Yeah.
All eyes are going to be on you because the fans have been craving from anything from that universe.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for making me sweat. Oh gosh, what can we expect? I am literally allowed to say nothing. I feel like there are sort of wands everywhere, Warner Brothers wands, making sure that I'm not. But I can't. All I can say is that J.K. Rowling has written something so wonderful, and if we can just do it justice, then I hope there is. I hope it'll be something really special to add to what she's already done. So. Final
question: your own journey in Hollywood. What's kind of shocked you the most about it? What surprised you about the road that you've taken and all this stuff?
How much traffic there is in Los Angeles. That's what I would say. It's constantly surprising. Every time I go there, I'm like, how does anyone get things done in LA? You have to spend like 17 hours a day in the car. That's what I've learned from Hollywood.
Welcome to my life, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Later.
I want to sketch you. Lily. We should go out tonight. Give them something different. Lily, you're exquisite.
You're different from most girls. I feel I'd need to ask your permission before I kissed you.
Exactly what happened last night?
There was a moment when I wasn't me. There was a moment when I was just Lily.
But Lily doesn't exist. We were playing a game.
Something changed.
Actually, last time I was here, you gave me a restaurant recommendation.
Yeah!
You told me to go to
Boca de Lupo.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I think we were sitting in this room.
I think it was another room.
But
I've never been in this room.
I'm going there tonight.
Great, you are?
Yeah, because you told me about it.
Well, good
I
on
literally made the
you.
reservation like you had to make them like a month in advance. And
Yeah.
Like a month ago.
No.
So
And I
they-
would say, are you just two?
Am I what?
Are you just two, or are you a bigger group?
Just two.
Sit in the bar.
Really?
I prefer it.
Okay. So, A, thanks for the restaurant recommendation.
I'm happy to know you're going tonight. Sit at the bar.
Okay, sit at the bar. So, you know, I saw the movie the other night, and the thing that struck me the most was the level of courage that both your character and obviously Eddie's character has. Is there a moment in your life where you had to have some kind of courage like that you can recall?
Well, I think what I found very relatable in this film was that thing of what you go through at any point in your life when you go through a very, very big change. When you transition from something into something very new. And it's nothing what these two characters and women go through in this film, but I think one of the biggest things I've done is I danced for many years, for 9 years, and when I took the decision to quit that, and that was kind of, it's hard to believe now, and but it's a very intense thing, and that was kind of my life, 6 days a week and very, very many hours a day. So that was, I was very scared going through that journey of letting that go.
You're doing okay now. Let's talk about the timeliness of obviously, you know, Jeffrey Tambor just won the Emmy for Transparent. We're seeing, you know, Caitlyn Jenner come out there giving speeches, obviously her show. Why is the time now, do you think, for the trans community? What is it about now that's happening?
Well, I wish I could say that it wasn't just now, that it had started before now, knowing that whatever journey Lily goes through in our film, which is almost 100 years back, to know that a lot of the issues that she goes through are sadly enough still the reality for most people in the transgender community. So knowing that it has been only since I kind of came on board this film less than 2 years ago, I can feel like it's been a media cultural change with the people that you mentioned, and I think that's lovely that people can stand up and finally talk, and that it's a lot of much more information and awareness. And I myself must say that it's been so many wonderful people who have come up and been there as support for Eddie and I and Tom and people on this film, and being so generous with their personal stories and lives, and have been there for us to ask whatever we want. And I've learned so much. It's been an eye-opener for me.
It's interesting because a lot of focus is always focused on the person going through the transition, and not necessarily the family members going through it with them. Obviously, you know, you're going through it with Eddie's character in the film. What have you learned from the families that go through someone going through the transition?
I think that was a big thing for me with the people that I met and people who share their stories, being the close ones, the loved ones of people transitioning. What I took with me, because first of all you realize, I mean, every single journey, it's just people, so everyone is different. But I could just see that everyone kind of, especially knowing that I was portraying Gerd in this film, not knowing so much about it, with less than what I told them, is that they a lot of the times felt like there wasn't enough attention on them getting the right support, because they were like, well, I was transitioning too, and I was there as a support, of course, for the person that I love all the time, but it was as tough for me, and I also needed some light shed on me, and that was really, I was like, I totally understand, of course, you know.
Final question, I mean, it sounds cliche, but I mean, why do you think love conquers all?
Because I think, I mean, this film is about two people who love each other, but it's also, above anything, a story about how to be able to be yourself. And I think love is one of the core emotions within you, and that you can go through all those rough times and tough times, and that you should, because that's just life too. But if you can find love as the essence, that will hopefully make you be able to go through life.
I'm gonna cry.
That was such a beautiful answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Next time I see you, I'll let you know how the restaurant was.
He's lost his way. He needs a friend.
Let me help.
I think Lily's thoughts. I dream her dreams. She was always there.
I need my husband. I need to hold my husband.
Are you all right? The fact is, I believe that I'm a woman.
And I believe it too.
Surgery has never been attempted before.
You're my whole life. They could kill you.
It's my only hope. This is not my body. I have to let him go. I love you because you're the only person who made sense of me. Who made me possible.